Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be local nursery plant shopping at Plants and Planters in Richardson, Texas. As always, please make sure you are hitting the like button for this video, as well as following me on Instagram at Grow Folds. That is the fastest way to get in touch with me directly. And I know that this holiday season, I haven't been as consistent about posting my plant shopping videos, but hopefully you enjoy today's video. I filmed this just right before the holiday, so it's a little bit out of date, but we can still look at all of the gorgeous plants that Plants and Planters has. A little insight about this shop. This nursery has been one of the oldest nurseries out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and today I'll be showing you what Plants and Planters has to offer. I definitely want to highlight that they have amazing indoor tropical plants, but any seasonal plants that you want to find, they also have in just seasonal decoration. So we're going to see a lot of that. We're going to definitely check it out. But first, look at this plant podcast.
Stuff like looking at social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, about what trending plants are there. So like say there's like a new plant release, all of a sudden you already have all of these plants.
Exactly.
But then you want to go ahead and add that variegated Monstera or just some new release.
I'm much better with it now.
He has alocasias. He's got an alocasia.
He has the magic touch then.
Either the magic touch or
he has a
something.
poly.
He has a poly, an alocasia poly. No spider mites. He doesn't
killed
really
that so
water it,
fast.
and it's in like a overlooked plants. They also have another common trait. They're cost effective.
Yeah.
The price is right for the majority of us, unless you're one of those folks that can, drop $1,000 on a variegated whatever
Which
Which I
plant.
could do that. A lot of the plants that we think are specialty plants here are technically not.
I do urge everybody to go search for Cultivation Corner on YouTube and actually subscribe to the Cultivation YouTube channel. There are about 11,300 plant foldies. And for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. My name is Richie. I do 1-hour plant shopping videos, but definitely subscribe to the Cultivation Corner plant podcast show on YouTube. Episode 4 will be premiering this Monday, December 30th at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on that channel. It is not on the channels for Janae Simone, my channel, or Stephen of I Live Plants. It's actually on the Cultivation Corner YouTube channel. So if you want to see episode 4 and all the future episodes, definitely go to the Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast YouTube channel. But as you can see right here, Plants and Planters has so many amazing looking plants. Like we can see, we have a bunch of these poinsettias here. Love the look of poinsettias. Again, poinsettias are a seasonal plant, and usually after December 25th, these plants will go on clearance for up to 50 to 70% off. So if you want to hold off from buying a poinsettia and actually try to grow this as a long-term house plant, you can do that. But the main event, and this is just me going back into the greenhouse, is just look at how stunning this actual nursery is. I love the fact that it basically is an urban jungle. Like it is a hidden jungle, one that you can see out here. It looks like they did take a bunch of cuttings that they're, I guess, getting cleaned up on this fountain of some Monstera esqueletos. But you can see right here all of the gorgeous plants that they have, and I just love the styling that they have here. It's very inspiring. And for those that love to collect plants, I would say these are the plant goals, right? To be able to have a space that looks like this. Plants and Planters, they have so many varieties of plants. Places in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. The Dallas-Fort Worth area has a lot of plant shops and nurseries, but I would always highlight Plants and Planters out in Richardson, Texas as one of the staple nurseries. I mean, you can see right here, they've got hanging baskets, and look at how gorgeous this spider plant is. It already has a bunch of trailing little babies, so you could literally propagate these or let it continue to trail down. And then they also have goldfish plants, hanging baskets of goldfish plants. I don't often see this out at big box stores. I really love the blooms of it. It has that stark orange goldfish color, and this one is for $26.99. As far as goldfish plants are very similar to Hoyas in the sense that when you touch the leaves, they have a waxy feel. Definitely water when the soil is completely dry and give it bright indirect light and you are good to go. But as I pan around and walk around this plant shop, this is an amazing one that I would definitely recommend. One that if you are going to visit the Dallas-Fort Worth area, put this on your bucket list, because you can see today I am showing you the plants that they have available. So they come in many different varieties and they have many different types of plants, like this Dracaena Kanzi for $12.99. And I love the white striping on this. Dracaenas are overlooked, underrated, easy to care for plants. And so there's not a lot of discussion about this particular houseplant, but I would tell you, if you want something that is easy to care for and cost effective, I would go for any type of Dracaenas. And then we also have a Dracaena Tornado. Really like this one as well. And then plant foliage, you can see here we have a philodendron ring of fire for $29.99. This is in a 6-inch planter. And yes, we've seen a lot of philodendron ring of fires actually appear at big box stores like Lowe's, Walmart, Home Depot. But Plants and Planters has some really established ones. You can see that this one is starting to want to climb up a totem pole or moss pole. I love the serrated philodendrons, and that ring of fire, it used to be a very expensive plant, but you know, this year it has really made it out in the market and has been readily available for a lot of the plant lovers like yourself, myself, and I'm just glad that as plants become more readily available, we're able to get access to these more rare and uncommon plants. But when you talk about common plants like spider plants, for instance, you can go to Plants and Planters, get yourself a large one like this. I believe this is for $29.99 or $39.99, but either way, fairly established plant. You don't have to worry about having to grow it out. And then Philodendron Heteroraceum Rio. So this is another plant that used to be quite expensive, and now you can find these at a local nursery like Plants and Planters. We can take a look at, let's see what the price is. I think it is for $49.99, which, you know, for the most part, it's still a fair price considering it's already trailing. You've got a nice, beautiful, and easy to care for plant. And one thing I will also highlight about Plants and Planters as I do a quick tour around here is that they have many succulents and cactus. Check out this spiral cactus right here for $59.99. Really interesting lines about it. There's just that spiral look about it. And you know, when it comes to succulents and cactus, one thing that dawned on me is the fact that these can make really good interior plants if you provide them with the right bright indirect light or bright light in general, just because of the textures and shapes of their plants. String of turtles. Nice little 6-inch hanging basket right here. This one is for $26.99. And then we have all of these other succulents and cactus hanging baskets. This one is for $29.99. Really interesting texture. And I'm not as familiar with succulents and cactus. Unfortunately, I don't know all the plant IDs. I have seen the ruby necklace even offered at a big box store. This one is for $26.99. And then we have a rickrack cactus. That one is another one that you would see at a big box store, but clearly I am all about also supporting, you know, small businesses, local nurseries. And so you'll see a lot of these plants like this Stepilia Lifesaver. Interesting plant in a hanging basket as well. And then we also have a variegated string of hearts right over here for, let's see, $29.99, I believe. Either way, it's a beautiful plant. I do find the burrow tail cactus an interesting one as well. This is $26.99. Like, look at that texture of this. And you know, as far as this one, if I were to get a succulent that was trailing, this would be the one I would choose. I do have a variegated string of hearts I was able to find for like $12.99 at Walmart, but Again, when it comes down to like plants, you have to really look at your plant space. I say this in all my videos, but you have to look at your interior space, whether you have the right lighting conditions, the humidity levels, and then as far as like plant care and the time you can spend on your plants, it's very crucial on whether you're going to be fully successful and satisfied with your plant collection. I know that I have really decided on downsizing some of my plants, really being very specific on the plants I'm collecting, more of a curated approach to it. So most of my plants are going to be mostly Aglaonema. You've seen a lot of my import plant videos that I've gotten from Indonesia. Really happy with the ones that I've gotten so far. And as far as like me collecting plants, even though I am doing that plant shopping video, I have resisted from purchasing plants just on impulse buys, because I feel like if you're managing your finances, if you're wanting to save money, you sometimes have to resist from just impulse buys, and that's very difficult sometimes when you are so passionate about plants. It's easier said than done. I mean, like the mermaid cactus, beautiful one. I would totally buy that in a heartbeat. And then we also have a variegated string of hearts. Again, now this one is in a 2-inch planter for $14.99. It's a little bit pricey in my opinion. However, look at how high the variegation is on the variegated string of hearts. You can see right at the very top, we've got some Madagascar palms. And we'll take a look at some of these plants at this table. So this is another alocasia. This is a variegated alocasia Frydek. Absolutely stunning. $59.99. And with alocasias, they are finicky plants in a sense that they're very much spider mite prone. You have to stay on top of the watering. You want to make sure that you are watering them consistently, as in when their soil is about 60% dry, go ahead and water them. The best advice I would say for alocasias is to put them in semi-hydroponic substrates, whether it is a lechuza pond or maybe leca, but they do better in lechuza pond because they have more fine roots. So just a little bit of some care tips for alocasia. I do have an alocasia Frydek, and what's amazing is these alocasias will get really large leaves. Now, as far as plant pricing for variegated alocasia, I do believe in 2025 next year, which is surprisingly only just a couple of days away, the plant pricing for variegated alocasia is going to be more reduced because it's becoming more readily available. I can already see huge shifts in plant pricing, and that's the thing, plant foldies. Sometimes if a plant is a want, which on our Cultivation Corner Plant podcast, our definition of a want plant is a plant that you don't necessarily need to buy right then and there. You can save your money, you can wait until the plant price goes down. Or if a plant is a need, that is a plant that you need today, as in you have to buy that. You have to really differentiate what the plants are. Now, as far as all of the other plants right over here, we do have some Philodendron heteroraceum Brazils. We've got some Ming Aralias, and that's something I haven't really talked a lot about. We've got some maidenhair fern, and then this gorgeous Epipremnum aria Marble Queen Pothos, $19.99 in a 6-inch planter. It's really established, beautiful variegation. It's almost like a Snow Queen Pothos. Now, Pothos plants, I say this in all my videos as well, you definitely need to add this to your plant collection because pothos plants are so simple to take care of. Their care is easy. I know that they're overlooked, underrated plants, but those are the plants I would say for anybody watching my plant shopping videos, you need to go ahead and add into your collection in 2025, or better yet, don't even wait till the new year. Go ahead and get yourself a pothos plant. Now this is gorgeous, Aglaonema pictum tricolor, and this used to be one of my biggest wish list plants, one of my wants. I finally acquired it from Peta's Planters, but we can take a look at how much it cost here. $39.99, really nice looking plant. Now this is more of a finicky Aglaonema. It needs a little bit higher humidity and you need to stay on top of the watering, but it is absolutely stunning. And then this next table is one of my favorites, and you already know why. And we'll take a look at this stunning Aglaonema Sparkling Sarah. So Sparkling Sarah, it does have those pink veins. Aglaonema are super easy to take care of. Again, these are only for $16.99 in 5-inch planters. That's a really good price. And as far as like the more colorful Aglaonema, they're a little bit more challenging to find unless you are finding them in like a big box store like Costa Farms Trending Tropical Plants. But Sparkling Sarah is another one that is becoming a little bit more readily available. Notice how it has those pink stems. stems. Really love the look of that. And again, if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you love Aglaonema, or you want to buy some of these colorful Aglaonema, I would suggest going to Plants and Planters. They are awesome. And then if you want a spring snow Aglaonema, and what I love about this Aglaonema is it does have quite a bit of variegation. Look at how light this Aglaonema is. And again, for a lighter color plant, it can tolerate lower light conditions. Now, it won't be as light, but you will still be able to hold on to that coloration. Now, as far as care tips for Aglaonema, again, water when the soil is completely dry. Aglaonema do not like to be overwatered. And as far as light, you can put them in a lower light condition, but if you want better colors, give them bright indirect light. And that is really it. Now, as far as this Monstera Deliciosa, stunning Monstera Deliciosa, and as far as like Plants and Planters, if you're looking for larger size plants, you can go to this nursery because they have larger plants. For instance, this Aglaonema Mary Ann. This one is only for $36.99 in an 8-inch planter. And you know, as far as 8-inch Aglaonemas, those are a little bit more challenging to find at big box stores. The Aglaonema Mary Ann is one that I ended up buying not too long ago from Plants and Planters. There are a couple of more Aglaonema that are in the mix for me to purchase eventually from Plants and Planters. Well, as you can see right here, this was filmed late afternoon, so that sun is still there, but there's a different vibe whenever you're filming plants at a different time of the day. Typically, I like to film during the early morning or late at night. But I did want to go ahead and check out these plants, especially this Aglaonema Valentine. Now, as far as Plants and Planters, if you want a large Aglaonema Valentine in a 10-inch planter, which is really uncommon to find even at nurseries out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, they have some stunning color right here. And you know, as far as this Aglaonema, it grows compact. There are several plants in this 10-inch planter. Now, as far as like the coloration, I mean, look at how stunning that is. It is challenging to find these in larger sizes. So again, if you want a large size Aglaonema, definitely go to Plants and Planters. I do find that their plant pricing is fair, especially when it comes to Aglaonemas, because they are just challenging to find in that size. And you can even see they have large peace lilies. And as I pan away, look at that fountain that they have over here. But you can see right here, Aglaonema Pink Valentine, beautiful plant. I definitely picked up another Aglaonema Pink Valentine just because I love the colors. And as I spin around here, you can see they have so many large plants. You can see that Aglaonema stripes as well as this Ficus lyrata over here. Gorgeous looking plant. And you know, as far as like the Aglaonema stripes, this is another one that I wanted to get. This one was a little bit more common to find at big box stores, but you don't really see them as much anymore. $49.99 for a 10-inch planter, but again, you get a large foliage Aglaonema. And even if it is more of the green variety, I don't mind having green variety Aglaonemas because they're easy to take care of. I cannot stress to anybody that is watching my YouTube channel for the first time or have watched it you know, for a while, if you don't have Aglaonema, at least open your mind to actually growing these plants. Very easy plants, low light tolerant, fairly drought tolerant. They are slower growers, but they just bring you a lot of joy because they are consistent and can be very versatile when it comes to lighting conditions. And then over here, Ficus Ali, beautiful plant, but you know, with any ficus plant, anything that says ficus, you're going to need a lot of bright indirect light, a lot of light for it to really thrive. And in the watering, you need to stay consistent because ficus do not like to stay dry for long periods of time. That's when they start to shed their leaves and drop their leaves. But that's the reason why I did go to Plants and Planters, is because I did want to go pick up an Aglaonema Pink Valentine. They just got a fresh shipment, and you can see right over here, look at that coloration. Now, while this plant for $49.99 can tolerate lower light conditions, you do need to give it bright light in order for it to really push out that color. Otherwise, it starts to be a little bit more speckly, and the bright pink or the reddish colors are not going to be as pronounced. Now, I'm going to spin around over here again, plant foldies, and you can see we've got another type of Aglaonema. This is an Aglaonema tigris. Beautiful plant as well. It looks very similar to the Maria as well as the Mary Ann. This one is for $36.99 in an 8-inch planter. I have yet to get the tigris, but that is another one of my Aglaonema I want to pick up. If you ask me what the majority of my plants are these days, it is going to be consistently Aglaonemas. I just have realized that with this plant, especially me converting them into semi-hydra, they just are easier to take care of. And then as I spin around here, look at these gorgeous Stramanthe Triostars, large forms for in 10-inch planters, and look at this 14-inch planter as well of a Philodendron Summer Glory. And that's something that if you want instant gratification, like if you want a statement large plant, Plants and Planters is the local nursery out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I would highly recommend. Like, I am almost tempted to buy this because then I don't have to worry so much about like taking the time to grow out a plant. Granted, everybody grows plants for different reasons, but from like a stylistic or interior design point, like this one is only for $79.99. That is a really good price for such a large plant. You can go to Plants and Planters and just go ahead and buy yourself a large foliage plant, so you don't have to, you know, spend time actually growing it out. I know that the fun about growing plants in general is to see them grow, but sometimes we want that large plant. Aglaonema Garnet Coltrane, that is another Aglaonema that looks very similar to an Aglaonema Ruby. This one is also for $49.99, and that's another one that's in a 10-inch planter. I think the next time I'm here, I will buy this specific Aglaonema if it's still around. Again, Aglaonemas, I will continue to talk about them, so hopefully you don't get tired of me discussing my passion about Aglaonemas, because they are underrated plants, and hopefully using this platform of social media, maybe I can get some more people excited, you know, as far as like the plants that I am showing you today. And you can see that Plants and Planters, they are probably the premier nursery out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area if you're looking to find hanging baskets of plants, trailing plants that are pretty established for a really cost-effective price. If you're looking to save money on an established hanging basket of Enjoy Pothos, for instance, look at how gorgeous this is. And we will just take a look at that variegation here, and this is really uncommon to find. Only $29.99 for an 8-inch hanging basket of Epiprimnum aureum Enjoy Pothos. I love it. I've had bought one before from Plants and Planters, and that afternoon sun is just amazing. And you can see over here we've got Monstera Esqueleto. And I did want to say, if you have made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you can at least hit the like button or the thumbs up button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. I'm hoping that we can continue to grow this plant foldy community, and by just hitting the like button, I ask that you do that for me, as well as leaving comments about the plants you're seeing. Really helps with the channel's engagement, which actually prompts YouTube to actually push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. So if you really want to find a way to support me, that's one way. Another way is during the live premiere chats, I am putting what you call chat goals during the live premiere chats, where basically there's a set amount of potential super stickers or super thanks, which are basically monetary tips that you can put into the live premiere chats. Or if you're watching this video outside of the live premiere, you can still hit that little $sign to give me a monetary tip, or a what you call a super sticker or super thanks. Definitely helps this out as far as the channel out with some of my funding for my gas and just some of my equipment that I use to film this plant content. Obviously, don't feel obligated to, but I did want to put that option out there because it does definitely help me out. Now, going back to the plants, we do have Philodendron Glorious. So this is a hybrid of the Gloriosa mixed with another type of philodendron. And then over here, this is an Aglaonema Moonlight Bay, and that is the Aglaonema I will be buying, or I bought at this location when I filmed this content, because look at how gorgeous it is. So it's basically an Aglaonema Silver Bay mixed with an Aglaonema Stripes, but you can see that there is some speckling that makes it look like moonlight, I would suppose, and it's only $39.99 for an 8-inch planter, so it's a really good price. And I would say, out on a limb, if you're looking for a large form Aglaonema in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Plants and Planters is the nursery I would highly recommend buying, because they have some really good sizes and the prices are fair. So please definitely check that out. Please tell Shelly, who is one of the plant buyers for the nursery, that Richie says hi. She and I go a long way back. She's always been supportive about my plant content, and as return, I want to continue to promote the Plants and Planters Creators Nursery. Over here you can see ficus burgundy, beautiful ficus elastica tree, and you can see that we have just large size plants. So hopefully everybody has had a great holiday season. And as you can see, plant foldies, the sheer beauty of this plant nursery greenhouse is just stunning. I mean, look at all of these hanging baskets. I just love going to Plants and Planters. I've actually been shopping here for many years, and they continue to just get some really good house plants, indoor tropical plants. You can see right over here, and this is actually interesting, the philodendron white measure, which is also known as the philodendron Birkins. I'm not sure if they're the same plant. $14.99 again for a 4.5-inch planter, but look at how highly variegated this is. Now, I do believe there is a resurgence of this particular philodendron. I was really tempted to purchase this particular philodendron when I went shopping here, but I kind of held off on it. Again, it is because I am trying to downsize my plant collection. There are just certain plants that I'm wanting to collect a little bit more exclusively. That would be Aglaonema, but for those that want an easy to care for plant, this philodendron white measure is one of them. Care tips for this again is bright indirect light, water when the soil is dry, and that is basically it. As far as like plant pests, it could potentially get like mealy bugs, maybe spider mites, but this isn't a plant that actually is not as susceptible to plant pests, which makes it easier. And then over here we've got a variegated Hoya obovata. That is another thing as far as like Hoyas. This plant nursery right here, Plants and Planters, has many different varieties of Hoyas. So for all the Hoya lovers out there, if you're looking for many varieties, Plants and Planters has them. And then again, we have a Philodendron Summer Glory. This one's in a 6-inch planter. Really love the look of it. Now, as far as this particular philodendron, I do think this one is a little bit overlooked as well, even though it is absolutely stunning. I do like the fact that when the new leaf unfurls, it has more of a caramel light brown tone about it before it actually hardens. So that's another easy to care for plant. And when we talk about collecting plants, growing plants in our plant collection, I do urge everybody to really look at the easy care plants, pivot to that rather than finding plants that are a little bit more challenging. Now, this is interesting. This is a Polea peramoides, or what you call the UFO plant. This is the variegated form. This is another plant that is an example of how Plants and Planters does have some more rare and uncommon varieties. I do want to eventually get this plant. It's just at the moment I have to really assess what plants I'm going to be growing in my plant collection moving forward. I will be getting about 3 IKEA cabinets to start the year off to get my plants situated. As you've already known, I did mention in my previous video that I would be getting a dog, but you know, from a lot of the comments, you guys gave me some ideas or just some insights, so I really appreciate that. Sansevieria Ghost, this one is for $16.99. I will be getting a Sansevieria Ghost today because this is a plant, like I don't mind adding Sansevieria or snake plants to my plant collection because they tend to be a little bit more easy care plants. I will say the one thing that can kill a Sansevieria is inconsistent watering habits. And what I mean by that is either overwatering, which is the fastest way to send one to plant heaven, or super underwatering where the plant will end up getting dry rot. And I've done that on both occasions. So I found a consistent way of just waiting for the soil to completely dry and then watering it. And that is really as easy as can be. But you can see the ghost, the Sansevieria Ghost, I haven't seen it in a while, highly variegated, love the plant. And what I do love about it is this plant can tolerate really low light conditions, even though the lighting or the variegation is super light. So you can put this in a spot that's a little bit darker to lighten up that space. I will be getting some Sansevieria from Indonesia as well, so I'm super excited to share that collection with our plant foldies. And as you can see, we do have quite a bit of selection of plants. You can see right here, we've got some Ficus elastica taniki or Ficus rubber tree plants. These ones are the taniki version where it's got some really good variegation. And what you can notice with these plants is the top part of that particular plant was chopped off, which actually promoted more branching. And then over here, we've got a Philodendron Prince of Orange. And then we got another Ficus elastica altissima, beautiful plant. Love that green on green variegation. And as I I continue to walk over here on the very right, we've got some crotons, but take a look at this Ficus elastica ruby. Now the ruby looks similar to the Taniki, except the ruby, as you can notice, has more of like a reddish tint to the leaves. And I will say the Ficus elastica Taniki or ruby, they really do look like works of art. It looks like somebody had watercolored or painted the leaves. Absolutely stunning. You know, when you really look past it, you would think that this was not a real plant, but that is the nature and beauty of plants in general. Some plants have some really nice leaf interest. I would say Ficus elastica ruby, Ficus elastica Taniki are definitely one of the top performers. Now these plants do require bright indirect light, sometimes even full sun if you're able to, and they will grow into full-blown trees. I know that in a Southeast Asian country like the Philippines, for instance, they can get up to 25 to 30 feet in height as full-blown trees. Philodendron Bellitiae as well. Love the Philodendron Bellitiae, and this one is actually an a 10-inch planter. And like I said before, with plants and planters, if you're looking for large philodendron or large plants, they have the sizing up for that. And you can see around this corner, we've got a angel wing begonia in bloom. Look at how beautiful this begonia is. Now, as far as begonias, you know, for me, angel wing begonias are a little bit easier to take care of. Rex begonias are more challenging, or at least in my experience. So that's just my personal opinion on begonias. They are beautiful. And then over here, we've got a Philodendron Hederaceum Rio. Love that as well. And all of these hanging baskets. And again, plant foldies, as far as hanging baskets, if you're looking for established hanging baskets with, you know, plants that are already trailing, Plants and Planters is the go-to plant nursery. And, you know, I can vouch for Plants and Planters in the fact that I have been shopping here for more than 5 years. Ever since I moved to the DFW area, I have been able to just shop and find these plants. You know, during the pandemic in 2020, this was my safe haven. This was my safe space. Whenever I just needed to relax and enjoy a place where they had so many beautiful, full, healthy, lush plants. And right ahead, you can see we've got large foliage plants. This is a variegated alocasia. Again, if you really want a large one, this one is available as well. I believe these are for $99. And you know, the good thing about alocasia is if you're able to get them to grow, they will self-propagate and actually push out little baby pups that you can separate from the mother plant. And we do have another Ficus altissima. Again, now these are the tree forms where they basically cut the top of the actual plant and it promoted more branching. So, you know, as far as like Ficus elastica or rubber tree plants, if you want them to promote more branching, you do want to prune them back. It's the same thing with Ficus lyrata or Fiddle Leaf Fig trees. But if you look at all of this beauty, it is just nice to just walk around. And as far as like a place where it is literally a jungle in the DFW area, Plants and Planters is definitely the one plant nursery that I would recommend going, because they really do have this set up. It is fairly cool in the greenhouse today. Typically it's a little bit hotter, but for some reason it's a little bit cooler when I was actually filming this. And then as you can see right here, one last pan around. Let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, if you've been to Plants and Planters. If you haven't been to Plants and Planters, and if you made it this far into the video, please make sure you're hitting the like button for this video. I'd really appreciate it. And then the next location right here is going to be grocery store plant shopping at Kroger in Melissa, Texas. So Melissa, Texas finally got a Kroger marketplace. And if for those that don't know where Melissa, Texas is, it is further up Dallas. It is pretty far up, but as you can see right here, this is a Kroger marketplace. And I love going grocery store plant shopping because you can save on a lot of money when it comes to the plants. As always, if you haven't already, please follow me on Instagram at GrowFolds. And if you made it this far into the video and you still haven't hit the like button or the thumbs up button, please be sure to hit the like button for these videos. As I've mentioned before, it definitely helps the channel out as far as pushing more of these videos out to more plant lovers like yourself. I am really excited that you guys have really supported me. I know I haven't been as consistent about my daily plant shopping videos. I mean, it is the holiday. I was trying to balance work. So some of these videos were videos I meant to premiere a little bit earlier this past week, but things have just gotten a little bit hectic for me. I'm just glad that I'm able to premiere some type of video. Look for some more new content next week because I'm going to go full blown trying to get more videos out there. But as far as this Stores Kroger grocery store. This recently opened in Melissa, Texas. And as always, whenever I go to Kroger's, and hopefully you guys have grocery stores like this, they have really cost-effective plant pricing. Like right now, we still have a bunch of these poinsettias. Again, if you are into poinsettias, these are holiday plants that typically come out around the last week of November, and they're full-blown all over any big box store, any grocery store, any place that sells plants. They will have poinsettias. And the thing about poinsettias is you can get them on sale right after December 25th. Usually they will be up to 50 to 70 to almost 80% off. Now there are many different varieties of poinsettias. You can see right here, these are for $9.99 in 6-inch planters. These are the common red ones, but there are so many cool varieties of poinsettias. Some of them are variegated, some of them are not variegated, some of them are pink, some of them have cream colors. So there's a lot of different hybrids that have just come out in the recent years. And you can see that as far as Kroger, I'm glad to actually be shopping late at night because there's really nobody here. You already know I really respect people's privacy when it comes to making plant content or making YouTube videos. I never want to just get people in the background because again, we want to make sure we are respecting somebody's social media presence. Some people, like myself, do not want to be all over social media, and that's the reason why I do a lot of my videos faceless. I am choosing to say faceless because there is a stark difference between putting yourself out all over social media and having boundaries where there's a certain amount of yourself that you put out there, and you still have your own personal life, your own daily life, your own day-to-day real life routines that are separate from social media. And so again, for those that ask why I do faceless YouTube, that's really it. It's easier for me to balance my personal life to practice mindfulness with the people that I see on a daily basis in real life versus social media. Anyways, going back to all of the plants right over here, you can see amaryllis bulbs. So these are the giant amaryllis bulbs. And what I love about amaryllis bulbs is that you can literally set them in front of a window and you will get a full-blown flower in a couple of weeks. And that is just a really good holiday gift you can give. And then Peace Lily, $19.99 for a 10-inch planter. Really good price. Silver Band Marantha by Urban Jungle. So Urban Jungle doesn't have all of these hanging baskets at like Lowe's or Home Depot or Walmart, those big box stores. But when it comes to the grocery store, they have these 8-inch ones for only $12.99. So if you're going to ask me which store, at least in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, sells the most inexpensive 8-inch hanging baskets, I would say it is definitely going to be Kroger grocery store. Urban Jungle hanging basket. So if I'm able to find something like a Silver Band Marantha and I'm on the hunt for a hanging basket, definitely go to Kroger grocery store. Now, if I found like a really nice pothos plant or some type of philodendron heteracea, maybe a Brazil, I would definitely buy it for $12.99. Here is another spathiphyllum or peace lily in a 10-inch planter for only $19.99. And you know, with peace lilies, super easy to take care of. They're just a little bit thirsty of a plant for me to really want to put in my plant collection. And you can see right here, here is an Epipremnum aureum Marble Queen pothos. You can see it's trailing and it is only for $12.99. So if you're going to compare and contrast Costa Farms hanging basket 8-inch, it's usually $20.24 versus $12.99. I honestly would go with Urban Jungle at this point. However, I do love Costa Farms hanging baskets. You know, Costa Farms does give us some amazing hanging basket plants, but that is the reason why I do these plant shopping videos. It's very important for me to I guess show you what the current plant pricing is when it comes to the plants that are at least in the DFW area. But even for just price comparison, I'm sure that in certain parts of the United States, maybe some plant pricing is a little bit more expensive or even less, but at least the current plant pricing I'm showing you. And this is the reason why I always encourage anybody who wants daily 1-hour plant shopping videos. If you want to look at plants, if you want to hear me talk about plants for at least an hour or even engage with other people who love plants, you definitely want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, my plant YouTube channel. And I've told folks before, not only subscribe, but make sure that you turn on the notification bell on for all notifications versus personalized ones. Now here is another Epipremnum pinnatum, yellow flame. Really love the look of the Epipremnum pinnatum yellow flame. This one is only for $16.98. Now this is a Costa Farms trending tropical plant in a self-watering planter. So whenever you are wanting the most inexpensive trending tropicals Costa Farms plants, go to Kroger grocery store. Typically a Costa Farms trending tropical plant is for $19.84. So if you buy it at Lowe's, if you buy it at Walmart, for instance, those big box stores, that's what the pricing will look like. But if you go to Kroger grocery, at least the ones in Texas, you will get them for $16.99. Here is a spider plant in a 4.5-inch planter for $9.99. And the thing about it is spider plants become trailing plants. They're easy to care for plants. My tip is if you're the tips of your actual spider plant kind of get brown or crispy, all you have to do is take some scissors and chop them off, and then aesthetically the plant will look better. And then, again, here is a spathiphyllum or peace lily. Now with peace lilies, they're very low light tolerant, and that makes them easy to care for plants. Like, look at how deep that green color is. Really love that. And then obviously everybody's favorite, it's a Hydra helix, or what you call a Hedera helix. That's the correct way of saying the actual name. English ivy is really the common name for it. This one is for $9.99. And whenever you're at Kroger, you know I'm gonna say Hydra helix. Now, for those that are new to the channel, I just kind of mispronounce Hedera helix. It's so funny. All of our plant foliagers that are on the chats will count how many times I say Hydra helix. I haven't been doing a lot of those lately just because I haven't been running into a lot of English ivy. The thing about English ivy, as I've stated before, one of the most challenging plants to grow indoors because it is very much so spider mite prone. So you just have to watch for spider mites if you're going to grow them indoors. Ficus lyrata, this is in a 6-inch planter for $19.99. So I would say the 6-inch planters at Kroger, though, are a little less cost effective. And I say less cost effective because I feel like for $19.99, you should get like a trending tropicals plant, not just a common 6-inch planter. You can find I would say if anybody's asking me what the most cost effective price you should pay for a 6-inch planter, I would say you can get them for $9.99 at Walmart, or at least $12.99. But $19.99, if you really want the plant, I say buy it, but there is better pricing when it comes down to it. And then you can see here we've got some hanging baskets. This is a Peperomia obtusifolia, really cute looking plant, and it's very durable. And I'm going to pan away here. You can see that this is a Dracaena marginata. This is a bicolor. Really love the look of that. Now this Dracaena is a little bit less durable or less easy care for as compared to the most Dracaenas you would see. And then you can see here again, silver band marantha in an 8-inch hanging basket by Urban Jungles, $12.99. That is a steal for any type of hanging basket, especially an 8-inch one. Now, I personally have tried to grow a silver band marantha. This marantha was a little bit more uncommon a couple years back. It looks like it's become more commonly found at a big box store or a grocery store or even a local nursery like Plants and Planters. But as far as growing maranthas in my plant collection, they're very similar to calatheas. I believe they're a little bit less finicky than calatheas, but at the same time still a challenging plant. Now, one of my favorite plants or plant genuses, and this is basically the majority of my plant collection, this is an Aglaonema, and this is by Costa Farms. These are for $14.99. Typically, you'll find these Aglaonemas like at a big box store for like $14.99 in a self-watering planter. This one's not in a self-watering planter. If you notice though, look at the Aglaonema. Couple of things I want to highlight: the white stems, the undersides of the leaves with the white veining, and then also the silver, the natural silver shiny tone this Aglaonema has. And again, I am so baffled. I'm very confused. I'm disappointed that people are not talking about Aglaonemas, or people are not into Aglaonemas, because if you see that leaf interest, that is such a gorgeous plant, and it's an easy plant. It is a plant that is low light tolerant and drought tolerant. So those are two factors, like I mentioned in all my videos. you want those types of plants in an indoor space, because most people who have indoor spaces don't have the best lighting, and that would fit well for it. Now, this is another Syndapsis. Maybe it's a silver Ann, I don't know, but notice how the Syndapsis has really curly leaves. That is super dehydrated. So that's an example of a plant letting you know they need to get water. It needs to get watered pretty soon. And then we've got some Peperomia watermelon here, or watermelon Peperomia. This one is, I believe, for $9.99. Beautiful plant as well, and it is an easy to care for plant. You know, the watermelon Peperomia is a beautiful plant, and let's take a look at some more of these plants right here. So we have a ZZ plant, and this one again is in a 6-inch planter for $9.99. I would say this one's a little bit overpriced if you're going to ask my opinion in terms of plant pricing. So while Kroger may have some good plant pricing for certain plants, some plants are a little bit more overpriced, and this is a reason why, if you're looking at, you know, budgeting your finances or really wanting to save money, make sure you are comparing and contrasting plant pricing before you buy plants. You can see again, here is another Aglaonema for $14.99. And I swear, when you ask me if I could have multiples of a certain plant, if it's an Aglaonema, absolutely. I love Aglaonemas. I've been collecting as many Aglaonemas as possible. I have moved them to semi-hydro, and they've done stunning, and they've just been very easy to care for once I've even moved them into semi-hydro. Now, you can keep them in soil if you are going to go take care of an Aglaonema. Again, what you want to do is keep them on the drier side. Water them when the soil is completely dry. Give them bright indirect light if possible, if you want to promote better coloration. If you are not able to give them that bright indirect light, you can put them in a lower light condition. They will grow a little bit slower and may not have the best coloration, but needless to say, they will still survive, and you're still able to grow Aglaonema. So again, plant foldies, if you have made it this far, let me know what your thoughts are on my Aglaonema campaign, whether you have bought an Aglaonema, whether you want an Aglaonema, or whether you're just not a fan of an Aglaonema. Let me know why. I'm just really curious, and hopefully we can create a trend, because I feel like a lot of plants end up being a trending plant because people are talking about it, people are posting about it on social media. So let me know in the comments. Again, look at how gorgeous this trending tropicals plant is, only for $16.99. This is another Epipremnum pinnatum. I would say it's like the yellow flame. But you know, there are many different names for an Epipremnum pinnatum. I do love the fact that this almost looks like a golden pothos, but you can tell an Epipremnum pinnatum versus an Epipremnum aureum. The aureum has rounder leaves. Pinnatum leaves tend to be a little bit more narrow and pointy. Now, if you really want to maximize on the mature leaves of this plant really wants to climb up a pole. In nature, it typically attaches to walls, attaches to trees, and it can really get some large size leaves. And once it actually starts to mature, the leaves move from juvenile form, which is what you're seeing today, right now, to more mature leaves where they start to fenestrate. And the term fenestrate means the plant starts to split its leaves and even create holes, because it allows the light from the very top of the leaves to get through to the bottom of the leaves. And then over here, you can see this is a Epipremnum aureum Enjoy pothos. Notice how it's actually reverted. It's got more green there. So whenever you are wanting to prevent reversion, one way I would recommend, keeping the variegation a little bit more stable is cutting back the green, cutting it all the way back to the point of where the plant was still variegated. You want to maintain that before it actually becomes fully reverted. So that's just some of my plant tips. But again, in terms of all of the plants I'm seeing here, like this one is another Costa Farms plant. Let's take a look at the plant right here. This one is for $19.99. This is another Syngonium, and it might be like a Syngonium bold illusion, something like that. But I will say, look at how beautiful the leaves are, super shiny. And I love how this Syngonium has more rounder, more robust leaves. And even the nuances of just the pink veins looks really pretty. I love Costa Farm Syngoniums. Syngoniums in general, though, if you don't stay on top of the watering, that's when they really decline in health. So you don't want to keep a Syngonium dry for too long. Now, as far as the Epipremnum aureum neon pothos. This is probably my favorite pothos plant, and the reason being is it's fast growing, but that neon color is absolutely stunning, and it's an easy to care for plant. It is one of those plants, like I've said before, plant foldies, I'm sure a lot of y'all will, overlook it. The same thing with an Aglaonema. As you can see, I am on this Aglaonema kick. My campaign is to talk about Aglaonema. Maybe I can get a plant influencer or a social media influencer to get on the bandwagon about Aglaonemas, because this is a beautiful plant. This is an inexpensive plant. This is an easy to care for plant. So if you're watching my videos or you're supporting my videos, please buy yourself an Aglaonema. And no, Aglaonemas did not sponsor me to say that. I truly believe in the plant, and it's an awesome plant. Now over here is a Hoya carrii, just a green form, and I love the green form of a Hoya carrii. It's got that beautiful heart-shaped leaf. Now I've got the variegated form as well, and I was able to find it at Kroger. Now as far as Hoyas, this is for $13.99. That is a good price for a Hoya, especially a Hoya carrii, because sometimes you'll pay $20 somewhere around that to get that size of a plant. And then this is a Peperomia camouflage for $13.99, so you can see that it's got a beautiful color on it as well. And here we have some Christmas cactus. This one is for $16.99. And Christmas cactus, they are fairly easy to care for plants. I would say give them quite a bit of light, since it is more of a succulent type plant. And then when you look at all of these hanging baskets here, many different kinds. We've got a spider plant right here, for instance. And then we also have some dracaenas and some parlor palms. So many varieties to pick from. And then here is another Costa Farms plant. This one is for $19.99. This is a philodendron heteroraceum, just a green form, and you can see that they've got some leaf shine on it. And that's the thing about plants. If you ever want to elevate the look of your plants, make them more appealing to the eye, you can utilize leaf shine. I make a DIY leaf shine / pest preventative, which is basically a pest preventative spray that I use, which is basically neem oil plus some of my other ingredients that I use for all of my plants. Now, as far as this right over here, you can see we have another Hoya. This is a Hoya carnosa Crimson Queen. You can see that variegation is really nice. And if you're going to ask me, if you have a Kroger grocery store and you like Hoyas, this one is only for $9.99. That's a really good price. Again, you can go ahead and buy your Hoya or start a Hoya collection by just going to Kroger. And then you can see right here, alocasia stingray. And I had an alocasia stingray that I was growing in a pot outside, but I feel like that plant has either gone to plant heaven, or I'm hoping that the corms, it just, went dormant, and I could probably try to get them back in the spring. But, alocasia stingray, I love the look of it. And then this is another alocasia as well. So the interesting thing about Kroger grocery store is you will find plants that are, it's almost like a surprise, because you wouldn't expect an alocasia stingray at a grocery store like Kroger. Most grocery stores, you're not even thinking to buy plants, but I look at grocery stores like Kroger, for instance, or even HEB, which is another Texas grocery store, as another plant shop for me. It's not really where I get my groceries. I get my plants, and then I end up getting my groceries if need be. But as you can see here, I love the fact that going plant shopping or going plant shopping at night and actually filming at night makes it easier, because there's really not a lot of people out here. Now, I will say I was out pretty late when I was filming this content, but it just makes things easier. I can freely roam around and show you all of these plants, like these poinsettias, for instance, gorgeous plants. And as I pan away, poinsettias plus Christmas cactus. So again, plant foldies, if you made it this far into the video and you haven't hit the like button, please do hit the like button or the thumbs up button for this video. Leave me some comments, and continue to let me know what plants you want to see. Share your plant thoughts. Let me know what you did for the holidays. I am just glad that in a couple of days it is going to be 2025. I'm so excited to come up with a lot of new things for y'all. And for my plant foldy viewers out in Florida, if you are going to PlantCon 2025 in Orlando, February 22nd. I will be there, and if you want to see a face reveal, you already know I'm not going to be walking around with a mask. I will be out there filming lots and lots of content for y'all. I love PlantCon, super excited to get in touch with all of the vendors and just be able to share you guys with more plant videos. Again, as far as like shopping at Kroger grocery store, you can see we do have a lot of these Phalaenopsis orchids. I would say between Trader Joe's and Kroger, these are where you would want to buy your orchids. Also Lowe's also has a good selection of orchids, but it's always fun to see Phalaenopsis orchids. Anyways, if you like today's video, please hit the like button for this video, and if you feel generous, give me a super sticker or super thanks. That would really help me out monetarily. And as always, this is Richie at Grow Folds. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll see you with a brand new video tomorrow. Bye.